Juvenile trials in Wagoner County look very different from the adult criminal justice system. Juvenile proceedings focus on rehabilitation rather than punishment, but they can still result in serious consequences that affect a child's future. If your child is facing charges, understanding the juvenile trial process in Wagoner County is critical to protecting their rights and long-term interests. How the juvenile justice system works in Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, the juvenile justice system handles cases involving minors face accusations of violating the law. Juvenile cases are a separate division of the district court and follow procedures distinct from adult criminal trials. In Wagoner County, juvenile proceedings are closed to the public and are confidential to protect the privacy of the child. Juvenile cases fall into two main categories: delinquent acts, which would be crimes if committed by an adult; status offenses, which are only violations due to the individual's age, such as truancy, curfew violations, or underage drinking. Initial intake and filing of charges. When a juvenile is arrested or referred to the court, the case typically begins with an intake process. Law enforcement or the Office of Juvenile Affairs, OJA, may refer the case to the Wagoner County District Attorney's Office, which decides whether to file a petition in juvenile court. In some cases, the court may divert the matter through informal probation or counseling without filing formal charges. This early intervention is often available to first-time offenders or for low-level offenses. When authorities take a juvenile into custody, the court must hold a detention hearing within 2 judicial days to decide whether to place the minor in a juvenile detention center or release them to a parent or guardian. The judge considers whether the child poses a danger to the community or is likely to flee. Adjudication. The juvenile trial. If the case goes to trial, the court holds an adjudication hearing under the juvenile system. Unlike adult trials, the process does not involve a jury. Instead, the judge hears the evidence, decides whether the juvenile committed the alleged act, and issues a finding of delinquent if the prosecution proves the allegations beyond a reasonable doubt. Both the prosecution and defense may present evidence, call witnesses, and argue the case. Juveniles, like adults, have the right to an attorney and the right to remain silent. Disposition. Sentencing in juvenile court. If the court finds the juvenile delinquent, it will schedule a disposition hearing, which is similar to sentencing. The court considers reports from probation officers, the juvenile's history, family situation, and the nature of the offense. The focus is on rehabilitation, not punishment. Disposition options in Wagoner County may include probation with conditions such as counseling, school attendance, or community service; restitution to the victim, placement in a group home or treatment facility; commitment to the custody of the Office of Juvenile Affairs. For serious offenses, the court may impose stricter conditions or even recommend placement in a secure juvenile facility. Can a juvenile be tried as an adult? In certain serious felony cases, such as murder or armed robbery, the district attorney can request a certification hearing to determine whether the juvenile should be tried as an adult. If the judge grants this motion, the case moves into adult criminal court, and the minor is subject to adult penalties, including prison. This decision depends on the juvenile's age, prior criminal record, the nature of the offense, and whether rehabilitation is possible. Protect your child's future in Wagoner County. For juvenile trials in Wagoner County, it's essential to act quickly and work with an attorney who understands the juvenile justice system. At Kania Law, Wagoner County Attorney's Law Office, we represent juveniles and families with compassion and determination, fighting to protect your child's rights and future. Call the Kania Law, Wagoner Criminal Defense Attorneys at 918-283-7394 for a free consultation. Let us stand between you and the charges.